Welcome to the My Real Estate Company company-wide meeting for May 7th, 2026. Also, this serves as the company meeting for My Real Estate Company too.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Josh.
All right, we got a quote. It's most real estate ads fail because the offer is unclear. People don't click confusion, they click clarity. So I was talking to an agent just a couple days ago, and he was kind of down on himself. All of his social media was flopping. He was running ads that were flopping. Basically, he was getting no traction with his lead gen activities. And basically, what we talked about was, he had no clear call to actions. He was actually putting out some pretty good content, but it wasn't catered to anybody specific. It didn't speak to any pain points. It was just kind of like a bunch of spaghetti on the wall. And so, we talked about what's a plan for moving forward. And I think the biggest thing is no matter what you're doing, if it's paid ads, if it's social media, whatever, you've got to have clarity. When people are watching your stuff or reading your posts, they have to understand like what's the point. Um, and I think a prime example is a lot of us have the ability to do like market updates. We all do market updates. They're one of the easiest posts to make, but how many market updates do you watch where you get to the end of it and go, what's the point in that? And I think a lot of times it's a couple sentences at the end of a post or at the end of a video where you wrap it around and bring it back to how does this help my target audience? How can I help them with this post and give them something to do? Because if you confuse them, it's not going to do you any good.
Amen. Yeah. What's the point of this post? Even if it's like just to make somebody laugh. It's like, what am I trying to gain out of this? I love that. Who's up for discussing this one? I think Lindsay had some things going on. So who's up next?
Yeah, I'll talk about it a little bit. So, we've had this prospecting co-working room for a couple of weeks now, and agents have been taking advantage of it. We had one person was able to get 2 referrals out of their time with intentional like follow-up and stuff. Last night, I even did a late night one in the prospecting co-working room, and Emily and Debbie joined me, and we were productive, right? Sometimes you just somebody's there to help you, guide you. And so feel free to show up. The designated time is 10:30 to noon Central Time, but really anytime. Just let us know if you need someone to support you, go over scripts, help you organize. If you have 37 things to do and you need help prioritizing, sometimes it's easier for someone else to help you sort through that instead of getting overwhelmed. So just keep up the great work, keep coming, and we're really excited to see how your production goes up. So
can I say something about what we did yesterday?
I
Or are you
love
going to bring
that.
it up later? Okay. I've never in all of my years prospected or, farmed, things like that. But, I was successful. I did other things. So, but anyway, so Holly reached out to me this week and she said, so how's it going with Follow Up Boss? And how's it going with your lead, your past clients? And I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll get on a call with you, or I'll go to that room with you. That room is what I call it because I can't refer where I'm going. And I said, we'll talk about it. And I have had a VA for 3 years working on my Follow Up Boss, but it usually it's just leads that were coming through. My leads or my past clients, I have lost touch with many of them, so to speak, in a CRM. I don't lose touch with them because I'm probably friends with 70% of them. We talk on Facebook. We are always there. They live 5 hours from me. So I've kind of not seen the true strength of staying in touch with them until I got on the phone yesterday with Holly. And she said, all right, that's what we're going to do. We're going to call 10. We're going to do, and she gave me a couple of scripts to use, but of course they go your direction when you get on the phone. So call, text, email, we'll go through that and then get them into your Follow Up Boss. I had so much fun with it because even it even trailed over into this morning. But because of everything I did, I have 4 of those former clients from probably 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago that were like, who know where I am. I said, I'm so glad you called. I'm going to call you tomorrow. Or the other said, yeah. And I was trying to get their email and phone number is what I was trying to do. But this kind of prospecting, I can do all day, every day. I mean, and it was great because I have how many years of it out there that I should have been in touch with. And it wasn't about getting their business. It was about me touching base with them, seeing what's going on, getting their current address. And just this morning, one of them called me, and we've been friends forever. I've sold her 3, 4 houses through all the marriages and things. Her daughters are going to college next year. She's moving. So I'm like, it just worked out. But that wasn't what it was about. But I'm telling y'all, I had so much fun. It was comfortable. It wasn't me doing something I don't really like doing. And it worked. And then I have a meeting today doing some farming with my title company, finally. So there you go. It works. And I never go in there and when it's open, because I'm thinking, I don't really have anything to really talk about or go, but it worked. It was so much fun. And I told Holly that, yes, I work solo. Yes, I did. But these things that y'all offer us, I love the fact that we can do it together. And that's all it's about to me. So there you go.
I love that, Debbie. And that's the thing about real estate is there's, people join this profession for freedom. And if there's no structure and if you're not pushing yourself into a certain area like of uncomfortability, you're not going to get anywhere in your business. Like nobody's going to beat your door down to like beg you to come list their property. You have to be intentional about this. So thank you so much for that success.
Well, I thank Holly for reaching out to me and me going, okay, let's do this. And then it was fun. So I'll do it. I'm going to keep doing it.
Good job, Holly.
Where's she?
All right. So just real quick, our mission is we lead by example to build a profitable, scalable business, and we equip our agents to do the same. Our vision is to change the way real estate feels by putting relationships first for business owners, not followers, and clients who expect and deserve better. Your growth is not capped here. It's expected. We expect more out of you. And just a little overview of our core values. Here is your leadership team. There are 2 small/large announcements to make. I didn't do separate slides for them. I just kind of snuck it into our leadership team slide here. But 2 things, Brennan Cook, who is our West Virginia broker, has an extremely extensive background with the eXp staff side of things. He was basically in charge of all of their teams, and he got to know intimately all of their pain points. He would do things to retain teams, do things to recruit teams, do things to make sure that they were happy, everything, right? Make sure they're paid, work through issues. And so who better to have come be our director of teams? He's structuring, he's making our team structure right now and everything. So we're going to be presenting that to you guys soon. And then Brian Schultz, who obviously everybody knows and loves here. He has been a true champion, and he has a very strong IT background. So his path is director of information technology, but he is still our concierge support. He's still our lead concierge, but that's the path that he's definitely on here. He knows all of our systems inside and out. You can go to him for anything. Anybody got anything they want to say here before we move on?
We're very lucky to have both of them.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Very excited. Very excited to go on this journey. And congrats, Brian.
Yep, same to you.
All right. Speaking of congratulations, Josh Reese did receive an Inman Award. He is named a future leader in real estate. He's a verified winner. And as you guys know, he's our director of advancement and our South Dakota managing broker. So congratulations, Josh.
Thank you. I appreciate the nomination.
We're proud of you. Okay, training's next week. Holly, do you want to talk about Monday?
Sure. So Monday's workshop, you'll be able to, we're going to update your realtor.com profile and then if time permitting your homes.com profile. But I want you to come in ready to go. So hopefully if you need help accessing your realtor.com profile before Monday, please reach out and let me know. And Brian and I will help you get that sorted out. But especially now, and we'll talk about it later, we found out that Zillow and their new coming soon premier previews, that's what it is, the preview program that they're doing, which is basically they're coming soon, they're going to partner with realtor.com. And so anyone who joins that on either platform will have access to the same information. So I just think it's a really good time to make sure your profile is updated, brokerage, sales, reviews, all the things. So really excited to get that optimized for you on Monday.
Love. Josh.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something about that. I was reading quite a few articles on this new preview, professional preview, whatever they want to call it. But once that goes live, it sounds like both Realtor.com and Zillow are going to be promoting the absolute crap out of that. So I think we have a huge opportunity to be early adopters to that, to make sure that your listings are put in there. Obviously make sure you're compliant with your MLS and all that type of stuff. That's the first thing. But if you are, utilize that, because it sounds like both those platforms are putting a ton of money to promote this, because they understand that this is something that the way the industry is kind of moving, and they're trying to get market share with it. So as agents, I think it's a great leverage point to get a lot more exposure for your listings than we're getting right now.
Amen. I'm very excited about the opportunities. And Holly, I think that that's a big strength of yours, is when you see that, like, you know, with Zillow and things like that, and know exactly how to leverage those systems together. So kudos. Next week's true crime and real estate episode, I'm really excited to bring this to you. It's been a subject that I've been wanting to cover for a long time. It's going to actually be broken apart into 3 episodes, and I won't do 3 weeks in a row. I'm going to break it up, but I'm going to cover down on Skid Row. It is a huge part of real estate. Okay. Skid Row is a 50 block chunk of land in the middle of LA, Los Angeles. These so I did not realize this about Skid Row. These city planners of Los Angeles actually planned Skid Row to be like this. They sectioned off 50 fucking blocks in the middle of Los Angeles and said, this is where we're going to put every soup kitchen, every drug rehab clinic, every homeless shelter. We're going to put every single thing for all the bums that we possibly can fit inside this 50 block radius in the middle of LA, or, you know, wherever part of LA it's in, right? And, you know, who would have thought what it would have possibly turned into? There are 5 corpses a day that they recover off of Skid Row. So it's just, I'm personally fascinated by it, that the fact that it has grown into what it is, and the fact that they can't get it under control. So I'm going to go into the history of what it is in our first part of this series, and I can't wait to cover down on it and tell you guys all about it. All right. And then Wednesday, we're having Bob Cooper from our E&O here. And I'll tell you guys, he was here last year to talk to us about E&O, and I learned a lot from him. He's one of like, we joke because he has like his own technical challenges, and he's definitely not a Zoomer, and he's definitely that guy that would be like, I am not a cat, like Holly says. But he had taught me more about E&O than I had learned in my entire career in real estate leading up to that one training. He taught me that you never give something in real estate without getting something. Okay. If you're going to give something, if you're going to pay for something, you better get them to sign a release on it, you know, and he taught us so much. So I can't wait to have Bob Cooper. Thanks for arranging that, ladies. So anything anybody wants to say about these trainings before I move? Holly, Kyle? All right. All right. My real estate show, we are launching. We have filmed quite a few episodes. We're really excited to drop this podcast. It's just a matter of me like actually doing it now at this point, but we have been live streaming on our Twitch channel at My Real Estate Show every day. If you want to check out the live stream, it's at noon every day. And it's been going really well. We have interviewed already 2 pretty high profile guests. So we're very excited about that. And so sometimes we have guest agents on the show. Sometimes it's just Josh, me, and producer Brian. But what we do is we discuss like daily real estate topics. Yesterday, we were reacting to this guy on social media. He basically put out this thing that happened to him on Airbnb. This scammer was scamming him from his stay and trying to like charge him all kinds of extra money. And he like totally uncovered how this person was scamming him, totally uncovered how this person had a criminal history, and just basically blasted this person. He did not like call out any of this person's like personal information, didn't name this person's address, like nothing other than what was public. And he has like almost 1 million followers. So he's like, you fucked with the wrong one, you know? And he put it out there, and Airbnb banned his account. And so it was really kind of fun to be able to discuss these things, especially since one of our recent True Crime Tuesday episodes was about short-term rentals, you know, and all the scams that go along with that. So yeah, we like to have fun on that show, and just it's like a little bit different, and it's a little bit different side of real estate and keeping up with the daily topics. This career is ever changing, and it's a lot to keep up with, so you might as well be entertained while you do it. All right, who wants to discuss this slide?
I think Lindsay's here.
Okay, cool. Right in the nick of time.
Well, actually, hopefully there won't be any background noise, but yes, we're very, very excited, everyone, that my summer vacation is going to be coming to Texas. Thank you, everyone who filled out the survey and provided some amazing feedback and some funny commentary. I feel like maybe we should publish some of those answers, but we will be having it in August, and we should have some more information to roll out to you very, very soon. Please note that if your answers have changed and you were a maybe and now you're probably coming, please let us know. We appreciate that. And if you were a yes and something came up, life happens. Just keep us in the loop, and we will bring up some more information soon.
Thank you so much, and thanks for all the dedication and time that you and Brian have put into it thus far. Appreciate it. Kyle.
Hello. Hey, just wanted to give a quick recap on April. We had a good month, 11 closings, 2.2 nearly $1 million in volume, 64,000 in commissions paid, and 4 states represented. So great job.
I like seeing that, like the 4 states, and that's really fun.
Very cool. Okay, and as a reminder, we love it when you invite people to our brokerage. So if you know somebody who would make a great fit, please let us know in your support channel and we will stock them accordingly. I'm just kidding. We'll reach out to them accordingly.
And I want to tell you guys, actually, somebody earlier popped into our Zoom and was just like, hey, I just wanted to see what's going on. I just have been checking out your company, and, you know, and so at 9:30, I'm like, who's this? And she popped in and asked us some questions about our company. I think she's going to be talking to you soon, Brennan, West Virginia. So it was cool.
Ooh, who was that?
I'll tell you off stream.
Okay.
All right, Brian.
Yep. So I probably talk about this browser like way too often, but Brave, it's my like default, my go-to, like the one I prefer. It's Chromium based, so if you use Google Chrome, it's a pretty easy switch over to this. The biggest thing you'll probably notice is there are no ads on YouTube. It's got a built-in ad blocker, so I don't need to like add any extensions, pay for YouTube Premium. Like the biggest thing I've seen over 6 or 7 years of using it was they were maybe 3 or 4 days where for just a couple of hours, the YouTube ad blocker detection beat Brave's ad blocker. And then 4 hours later, I refresh and it's good. So it's pretty hiccup free. It's, you know, I won't say faster than anything else, but I'm also like a nerd about numbers. So like when I open the tab, like a, new tab, it'll tell you like right now I'm sitting at 9,700 plus trackers and ads blocked, almost 200 megabytes of bandwidth saved, and not, well, this is 9 minutes because the new computer. On my old one, like I was somewhere around like 48 hours of ads not watched. And I'm like, well, that's like, I don't know. You couldn't pay me enough to sit down and watch 2 days straight of ads, so I'll take that. But I really prefer it over anything else. It's pretty simple. And then if you're able to take, advantages, the other thing is it's got its own crypto token, just like everything else. I just have basically let it accrue over the years because I don't know what to spend it on. But if there are any like websites you go to that take crypto tokens, you can use that to pay for them there. So that's, a nice minor feature, but I just wanted to offer this as an alternative to people. I know there's plenty out there, but it's, got an incognito mode just like everything. It's got, everything else every browser has. The biggest draw for me was that built-in ad blocker, because there are people who are like, oh, it's so frustrating because YouTube's raising their prices again. And I'm like, must be nice, or, you enjoy that, but I don't deal with it. So if you do need like YouTube music, there maybe have to be something in there, but just ads in general, I don't see them. So I wanted to bring that up as an alternative for anybody to check out. I'm using it on Mac, so it's available on that. I know I have to get used to, your guys' environment now. So anything Mac compatible, I have to make sure, but it's been working just like I was before. The other nice thing is I had all my bookmarks on my old computer. I had all of my like passwords to log into websites. All you do on the new one is, go into the settings and go to like the sync section. And then, if you've got it on your phone or whatever, you just basically log into the browser on your new device and it pulls all of that in. You don't have to like, import and export bookmarks through Google Chrome or any crazy stuff like that. It's pretty seamless, and I didn't have to like pull up my password management program and use 50 different passwords to log in and everything. So if you have any questions about it, let me know. But I prefer it over, most of them. And it's been pretty seamless for me over the past few years. Yes, sir, Josh.
So I will say that if anybody ever asks me in the future, why Brian Schultz for Director of Information Technology, I'm just going to play them this clip.
Yep.
I'm never going to explain. I'm just going to play this clip.
All right.
Brennan, got anything for us in the mortgage world?
So mortgages actually creeped up a little bit, the rate over the past week. We've got, some uncertainty going on in parts of the world. So, but they're still kind of holding in that mid 6 range. Don't expect it to change much anytime soon. The Vantage Point 2.0 thing is moving forward pretty significantly. So rent is going to play a big part in credit and qualifying, and that'll especially help first time home buyers a lot. And that's pretty much about the only thing going on right now. It's stayed pretty even, not any big changes to report.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Who's got this slide? Lindsay, did you make this slide? Co-op?
Nope, that's me. Sorry, I was had a picture thing up. So the reason I'm bringing this up again, though, is since the HUD-NAR agreement in 2024, we have seen less and less like co-op compensation, right? Because NAR agreed with HUD that they wouldn't publish that in the MLS anymore. And so some companies were proactive, some states were proactive in immediately eradicating the word co-op compensation, but there's many states that haven't. So it's coming up again because Texas is now removing any verbiage about co-op compensation from the listing agreement. So some states already have, some states have not. So we're just kind of talking about it again and re-bringing it back up, right? So I really want you to just focus on the pros of this. So we've seen agents actually make more money. And statistically, they're saying agents are making more money since they sort of decoupled that. And a real quick explanation, co-op compensation is different than seller paid. Co-op compensation meant that the listing agent pre-negotiated with the seller, like, hey, I'm going to share what I charge you. So I'm going to charge you $5,000 and I'm going to share 2,000 of it with whoever brings the buyer. And so you were kind of boxed in. Now, some of us were creative and started buyer agreements a long time ago or negotiating for higher compensation. But most people were just taking whatever whatever the listing agent was offering, you know. So we have a lot of opportunity now. So next slide. So one of the things you know, Brendan and I did a role play on buyer agent strategy a couple weeks ago. Sandy's going to do a training on just negotiating your worth. It's really important for us that our agents know that this is okay. Like, this is actually an opportunity, not a reason to panic. So, you know, when you're representing a buyer, it's all about proving your worth and then asking, you know, for them to sign. Same with the listing. You're proving your worth, you're explaining what you do, and then you're asking for them to sign. But it's important as a listing agent to set expectations, because the seller's probably going to look at the net. You want to start focusing on that net if you haven't been doing that, which is why a seller net sheet is so important. But you don't want them to be sticker shocked if a buyer comes along and asks for closing costs and $5 million towards their buyer agent. So you kind of want to set those expectations with your seller up front. But I just wanted to make sure our mindset was positive moving forward. And we see this as the amazing opportunity that it is. And remember, like, price is only an objection in the absence of value. So as long as you can show your value, you know, don't worry about it. Don't stress so much. So any thoughts on that, Sandy? I know you're going to talk more
No,
about
I
it.
mean, you just have to go to the training, guys. I dominate in this area as a buyer's agent. I loved it once it was decoupled. I never, even if there's a broker compensation off, I never even texted the agent asking about it. I would just write what I was going to write in the offer. And if they're like, oh, well, we're offering this much, great. Well, there's this much more that's needed. So
Yeah,
don't
I
give a
don't.
fuck.
I want to say something too. I never either. I never call and ask them. I don't text them. And then when I get the call, when I get a call or a text, I just let them know. It's things are negotiable. Just send your offer over, and we'll negotiate it later. I am not going to give that to you, and I'm not going to go down that road. You don't have to call and ask me.
It's good for the seller because if in multiple offers, you never know like what somebody's going to actually ask for commission wise. And it's good for the buyer because, you know, in as we're coming into any type of buyer's market, the way that I'm going to bowl is I'm going to say, hey, my buyers are authorizing me to negotiate on any property where my commission's covered.
Right.
Is this going to happen on your property or am I going to move on? All right, I guess we're moving on. You know, so there's lots of, and I only say that when we have that discussion ahead of time. And so I will go over all of this in my training. Another thing that I do in my training is what I'll talk about is I write my commission as simply where it allows. So for instance, if my buyers aren't asking for seller paid concessions, they don't need it in their loan already, I'll just ask for seller paid concessions. It's none of their business what it's going to. Well, it's just going to satisfy my buyer broker agreement. The seller's like, well, this is awesome. I don't even have to pay commission. So it's all a mindset thing for them, you know? So we'll talk about all of that. And then lastly, if the buyer truly can't afford to pay my commission, the lender is authorized to put it in the pre-approval subject to seller satisfying the buyer broker agreement. So I've done deep research on all of this. I can tell you how to get your money. So I'm all about money, honey. All right.
Hey, social media time. I wanted to highlight Javi and Debbie. I see your effort. I see what you guys are posting, and keep it up. I shared these because I thought it was interesting that, you know, they're not really real estate related, right? And one is a graphic, one is a text, and the whole point is just putting yourself out there. So these both had pretty good interaction based on other posts these agents had. So Javi posted about classical music and got some, you know, feedback about that. It was really important. He asked a question, right? To basically throw that into the reader's like laugh, like, hey, I'm asking you a question, and then people feel like they need to answer it. And then Debbie, what household item do you lose every single day? Like, that's such a great question, because there's got to be something, right? So of course people, and then the taco, pizza, burgers conversation was also pretty enlightening, what people would choose. So, I just wanted to bring this to your attention, make sure we're all following each other. And I love that I always see our own agents supporting other agents. They're always the first to like other people's posts. So, everybody keep up the great work. But next slide. So I hate it, but the second week in a row, Damien is coming away as the winner. As far as I could tell, he was the only person that posted for 6 days in a row from last meeting to today. And so he does videos. So I just really want to say, like, whether your medium is videos, which I do think is important, or text or pictures, start small and start with one. Like, you don't need to post everything everywhere. Just start with one and like build your confidence up, right? So again, Damien posted things that were kind of house adjacent or real estate adjacent, which is great. The one that's the picture I grabbed, you can see has 23 comments, 14 likes, because there's a conversation happening in the comments between the people. And I think that that's so impressive. This one was about shoes off or off inside a house when you're showing a house, like specifically. So great job, Damien. And then the next.
And something real quick about that shoes one is it didn't even show his face. Like, he's walking around, like it just shows him walking around. He's just filming his feet, not every video has to be a talking head. Not every video has to be your face. So it's okay, guy. Like, he's very creative with it. Another video he did, like pouring drinks and like, I mean, whatever. It's just showing the drinks and stuff. So it's cool.
So I should have waited till this slide, sorry, to announce that he was officially the winner. I want to go ahead and play this video. You guys have got 65 likes and 38 comments. So
wow, I'm not surprised. I am not surprised.
I always tell them the same thing. Forget love language, forget compatibility quizzes. The most important question you can ask before you get married is, what temperature do you keep your house? Because I'm a 72, my wife's a 68, so obviously our house stays at 68 because she's the boss and I like being married. What's your number? And more importantly, who won the thermostat war in your house?
That's great.
I loved it. I almost just stopped posting mine because I was like, oh my God. I'm like, these are amazing. I would just like watch someone watch. You were so good.
Yeah, but cameras. Damien, are you in a position where you can talk? Because you and I have had some good talks lately about like you coming up in your confidence in your videos. Is he here?
He may not. I don't think he's here today.
Yeah, no. Well, he was here. I think he had to.
He was here earlier. So yeah, we'll have to get him to talk later. But he and I have talked about it, and he's like, yeah, I was so overwhelmed by Instagram, and I was so overwhelmed by the thought of posting videos, and I just started doing it, and I realized it's pretty easy and it's not that hard, and it's like you just have to do it. And Debbie, your videos are going to be completely different than Damien's. And you're going to have your own style. You know what I mean? So that's the whole thing that's really cool about our brokerages. We all have different personalities, and we're all authentically ourselves. And we all have our own different clientele who love us for us.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did talk to him because I was complimenting him on it. And he did share with me that in the beginning he was, not secure about it. So we had good conversations. So yeah.
And he's still not secure about it. Like, he'll tell you, and it's just like, how? Look at all the affirmation you're getting.
Well, no, he's a natural.
Important to lean into yourself, but I think I speak for most of our agents when I say, if you see something, you can make your own version. So Debbie, if you liked that and you saw the engagement, nobody that be like, oh my gosh, Damien already did a video like that. Like, that's the whole point of social media. So
I know. People steal. I had an author say, Debbie, people steal from each other. That don't just steal things that are out there. It's not a big deal. People take and make it their own. Just do it.
Exactly.
So,
it's but called R&D, rip off and duplicate. But you know what, Debbie, I watch a lot of we were actually talking about this over on my real estate show. I watch a lot of non real estate reels, just whatever pops up in my algorithm, and I'll look at it and I'll be like, oh my God, I should make this into something real estate-y. And so even just follow whoever you like.
Mhm.
And then whatever they're doing, be like, oh, I could switch this out for like house lingo or
Yeah.
whatever.
Good. Yeah. Great idea.
All right, so the next challenge is a little bit different. And again, I don't care if you post it, picture it, video it. The goal is just to put yourself out there. So my idea this week is that we're going to take your followers, your friends on a journey. So day one, post something about your first job. Like, when I first started working, I actually had 2 jobs. Is anyone shocked? But I had 2 jobs when I was 16, and kind of just tell your story. And then maybe to relate it to real estate, did you learn anything from that job that you're doing now? Whatever. There's not a lot of guide rules here, just questions to get your juices flowing. The second post the next day would be how I got into real estate. Did you fall into it? Did your parents do it? What is that story? What would you do differently? So I think for myself, I would do a lot of things differently if I was starting over and I knew then what I know now as far as tracking my closed deals, tracking all the things, friending them on social media. So I think that's going to be important to just share. Your first transaction. Mine was a horror story. If you remember yours, great, tell us about it. And if you don't remember your first, whatever was most memorable. Was it great? Was it a nightmare? Whatever. Then your superhero moment. So this could be for yourself or whoever your broker was at the time or your team leader, but like, was there something that you worked through where you felt like a superhero? Like, the deal was going to fall apart and you saved it. What's that story? And then finally, why are you at MyRECo? Like, what brought you here? What's kept you here? What's your favorite thing about us? Like, I think this is exciting. And then my only caveat, my only real rule this week is that you have to tag the company or drop it in group social media, because I'm trying to scour everybody's social media. I don't want to miss something. So make sure that you're tagging our company or you're dropping it in groups so we can all interact with it. I just really would feel terrible if I didn't give you any sort of acknowledgement. But as we get bigger, it's going to be hard for me to like stalk everybody's page. So that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to be apologetic about it. Tag the company, that's how we all grow. This is a business and we're giving you something at the end of these challenges. Like, let's grow together. I love that. Good job, Holly. Good catch.
All right, so national news. So the 2 biggest things I took out of this week thus far is that Zillow and Realtor.com have paired up, and this summer they'll be doing the preview program. We are, as a company, working on getting that contract solidified with Zillow so that we can participate in that. Really excited about the direction that's headed, though. And then it was interesting that I saw that the founder of 72 Sold is now the director of home sale strategies at Compass World Holdings. And he's not drawing a salary. He's just doing it for free. And so I did make a reel about this the other day. Long story short, 72 Sold is the mindset and the idea that you go into your listing presentations and you're like, look, we're going to list it on Friday. We're going to market it on Saturday, do open houses on Sunday, review offers on Monday. And it makes people feel like, there's this limited window. Statistically, it seems to work. So I can definitely dig more into that program or develop a different program that's like that, if that's something you're interested in. But just want to stay in touch on what's going on in the real estate world. So wanted to bring that to you.
Alibis. Anybody got anything before we wrap?
I would like everyone to open their cameras so we can take a group photo. I think showing people that we have all these people that show up to our meetings is really important. And so there we go, everyone. All right, smile. Let me make my frame pretty. All right, 1, smile, 2, 3. Okay. Awesome sauce. That's all I have.
All right, cool. Close us out, Holly.
All right. When in doubt, reach out, message us if you need us. We are here for you. We all started this morning with the blank slate at 0. So we want to talk to a buyer, a seller, or an agent today. Have a good one. Bye.